see. There we go. All right, everybody, good morning or good evening, depending on where you are. Welcome. I'm just going to share my screen here for you guys. Okay. All right, can everybody see that? Kath, can you see my screen?
Yes, it's just just a second now because I have my Q&A over top, but it's the black screen. Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
perfect.
Here we go. We're good.
All right, we're good to go. So welcome, everyone. Thank you to all of our partners and agents and friends that are here with us today. And thank you to those that may watch the recording later if need be. My name is Jenna Popp, and I am the Recruitment and Programs Liaison for Trent ESL within Trent International at Trent University. I'm going to be presenting today, and Kath D'Amico is here as well. She is a panelist, and she is managing the Q&A and the chat. So for anybody that has questions as I'm going, feel free to drop those into the chat, and Kath can answer those, or I'm also available at the end of the presentation with Kath to answer those questions. So let's go ahead and begin. Today, we are putting a special focus on ESL at Trent, on our ESL Pathway to Degree Studies, because we have some really exciting and innovative changes happening within our ESL program this fall, and we want to share those changes with you because they're very cutting edge and competitive, and we're very excited about them. So I first want to take a look at Trent University as a whole, because the majority of our students are accepted to Trent University with a conditional pathway through Trent ESL. So the majority of our students do plan on attending Trent University after ESL. So why Trent University? Well, we are the #1 undergraduate university in Ontario and have been for the last 10 consecutive years. We're #1 in Canada for the amount that we give in scholarships and bursaries. So we really care about supporting our international students and getting them to Ontario. 95% of our students are happy that they chose Trent. 90% of graduates are employed within 6 months after graduation from Trent University. And as I mentioned, we have this innovative English for University program. That's our ESL program, and we have made some incredible changes to it that you are going to want to share with your students. So from day one, ESL students are living the Trent experience. They are immersed directly into Trent life and to campus. They have the opportunity to explore our 1,400-acre breathtaking campus. They can, walk and discover the trails. They can paddle or kayak on the Otonabee River you see here in the photo. So they have that opportunity like any other degree studies student at Trent University. They also have access to our buildings and facilities like our Bata Library here. You can see it's beautiful architecture. They can come here to research or to study or do their homework. They can explore the student center here. They can collaborate with friends and peers for projects and for homework here at the student center. And they also have access to our state-of-the-art athletic facilities. You can see the gym here, and we have this beautiful rowing center as well. It really is an incredible experience, and all of our ESL students begin forging these lifelong friendships with other ESL students and students on campus, as well as their instructors from day one. So our mission within Trent ESL is just to improve students' English proficiency while setting them up for success as university students at Trent and beyond, both academically and socially, all while fostering a supportive and culturally inclusive environment. The environment at Trent is very diverse, and it's warm and welcoming, and that's included within the curriculum as well. So a little more about our ESL program at Trent. It is a pathway to Trent undergraduate studies, And we have a proven track record of success. We've been established for over 20 years and seen several students graduate through our ESL pathway program and go on to explore their degree at Trent University and then graduate. And we are an accredited member of Languages Canada. Kath D'Amico, who's here manning the chat, she is our director of Trent International and is also the president of Languages Canada. We offer a very diverse classroom environment with superior teaching. Our instructors are incredibly professional and experienced and compassionate as well, because we understand that studying in a foreign country can be a bit intimidating. So compassion is key with our instructors as well. And we have a really focused, exhaustive curriculum that these instructors deliver. So looking at ESL term dates, one of the other advantages of our Trent ESL program is that there are actually 4 intakes each academic year. So our next intake for ESL would be this summer, so it'd be June 21st. And then fall begins September 2nd. And then we have a winter January intake and a spring April intake. And the interesting thing about these is if you look, summer and spring terms are each 9 weeks, so they're slightly shorter. So the same curriculum is delivered both in the summer and spring terms, as well as the fall and winter terms. It's just in those shorter terms, those summer and spring terms, students are spending more time in class per week. So for example, in those spring and summer terms, depending on the level of ESL that the students are in, they could be in class for up to 32.5 hours a week, as opposed to 24.5 hours in one of those longer 12-week terms. This is a sample schedule of our Core English 3 spring term. So you can see here that within the Core English 3 level, our 3rd level of ESL, students are taking 3 different courses. So you can see here they have like listening and speaking and pronunciation with Lori Steers, reading and vocabulary with Carleen Hamilton, and writing and grammar with Alitza Rostova. So this is just an example of a 32-hour week for students during one of the shorter condensed terms. Typically our classes run from between the hours of 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday to Friday, and Friday is always a shorter day ending at 1 o'clock. There is also an option for students on complete opposite time zones. In China, for example, there is a half and half option, and this allows students to be in class live from 9 to 11 a.m. or 9 to 12 a.m., depending on whether or not you're in a shorter or longer term, and then to watch the recordings on their own time after that. So this makes it a little bit easier for students in other parts of the world on extreme time zones. So that's the half and half option that we also offer. So what's new to Trent ESL? So we have some really exciting changes. We've been working really hard, and Trent International has been working really hard to kind of stay ahead of the curve. And so our top 2 ESL levels are now 4 academic undergraduate credit. So this hugely distinguishes the Trent ESL program, because private language pathways do not offer credits for ESL. And we're now the only university in Canada granting full university credits for English as a second language that can be applied to all Trent undergraduate degrees. So this is huge for us, and this really sets us apart from all of our competition. You can see here now our top 2 levels are EAPP 1000Y, or English for Academic and Professional Purposes 1000Y, and EAPP 2000Y, English for Academic and Professional Purposes. So for each of those top levels, students receive 1 full credit towards their degree at Trent University. So as you can see, for anybody that's familiar with our former structure, EAPP 1000Y is replacing Foundations for University 1, and EAPP 2000Y is replacing Foundations for University 2, beginning this fall, September 2021. So this is taking effect this fall. So this is really, really exciting, because now students can earn up to 3 full academic credits in ESL by taking EAPP 1000Y, earning 1 credit, EAPP 2000Y, earning a second credit, and then taking additional half credit courses for a maximum of 2 half-credit courses or 1 full credit. So again, that's 1 full credit for EAPP 1000Y, 1 full credit for EAPP 2000Y, and up to 1 full credit for taking additional interest courses or electives, for adding those to your timetable during your ESL term. So this is really, really exciting. And because it's such a big deal, Kath, if you have anything you want to add, feel free to chime in. Otherwise, I will continue on. I can't hear you.
Great. This is all great. I'm typing into the chat as well because there are more opportunities to meet with us. But yes, basically the exciting news is that finally there's a university where English language learning is actually part of an academic program. It's not just a pathway, it's for credit. So it's part of the degree. It's no longer this pre-academic study period of time and money for your students. It's a time when they are both completing and fulfilling the condition to be able to study as full-time undergraduate students and earn credit at the same time. So the goal is to add value to the time and the resources invested in English language learning.
Thank you. So this is a super exciting thing for the Trent ESL program, because for students earning 3 credits by taking the top 2 levels of our ESL program and additional interest courses for credit, students are earning 60% of their first year of undergraduate studies. So they are saving huge time, and we are adding huge value to their English as a second language learning. So who is Trent ESL for? Students that are accepted to Trent who have not submitted an English proficiency test or whose English test scores fall below Trent's minimum requirements. So the majority of our students fall into this category. They either don't submit the English proficiency test that admissions requires, or they fall below those minimum requirements. We do on occasion have individuals looking to improve their English proficiency that may be domestic, but that is the minority of our students. So as I mentioned, here you can see the tests that we accept or that admissions accepts to prove your English proficiency. So just for example, looking at the IELTS test, somebody that achieves a 5.0 overall with a 5.0 in writing will be automatically admitted to our core English level 3 ESL program. And similarly, somebody that achieves a 5.5 overall with a 5.5 in writing on the IELTS would then be directly admitted into EAPP 1000Y, that 4 credit, 1 full credit English ESL level. And then somebody earning a 6.0 overall with a 6.0 in writing on the IELTS would be admitted to our top ESL level, EAPP 2000Y, again, for 1 credit towards their university degree. And you can see the other tests there that we accept as well. And I just want to note that anybody that scores lower than that 5.0 for IELTS, or the 60 or the 500 or the 37.5 to 45, depending on the test you're looking at, anybody that scores below that is not required to submit the TOEFL or the IELTS scores for admissions. What we offer is a Trent ESL placement test that will then place them in their appropriate level within ESL. That being said, we always encourage all of the students to take the placement test, because, for example, a student that is admitted directly into the core English 3 level based on their previous proficiency test could potentially do better on our placement test that they're taking 3 months or 6 months later, and then bump up to that EAPP 1000Y course for credit. So we encourage everybody to take the placement test. There is no disadvantage. Our placement test is a 2-part test. Part 1 is an online test worth 50%, and part 2 is a writing test. ideally in person. However, it can be modified to do online if necessary, but it is also worth 50%. And the test results from our ESL placement test then put students in one of 5 ESL levels or the very basic fundamental English preparation kind of level or prerequisite. So we have English preparation first, then we have our core English 1, 2, and 3. Then we have our EAPP 1000Y for 1 credit and our EAPP 2000Y for 1 credit as well. And that is our top ESL level. As I've noted here, you can see that those top 2 levels are previously Foundations for University 1 and Foundations for University 2. So looking at the levels in more depth, we have that base English preparation level for absolute beginners. We have the core 1 through 3 levels that offer no academic course credits, but that are building blocks. And then we have the EAPP 1000Y and EAPP 2000Y each for 1 credit. Looking a little more in depth at English preparation, students that receive a 0 to 12.5 on our placement test score are placed in this building block. And this is really designed just to prepare students for the core English program. It's laying the foundation, and students are learning basic reading and writing skills, vocabulary, and listening skills as well. Then we have our core English 1 through 3 levels. So you can see the scores broken down here for levels 1 through 3. So you have core 1 is for students receiving a between 15 and 25 on our placement test. Then you have core 2 where students are receiving a 27.5 to 35. And then you have core 3 where students are receiving a 37.5 to 45. And again, these levels are getting students to an intermediate Spanish level and really just working on proficiency in speaking, pronunciation, vocabulary, reading, writing, and grammar. And they're all centered on pre-academic topics of interest like popular science and urban studies and art and culture and the environment, things like this that are of interest to our students. Next, we have our EAPP 1000Y, or English for Academic and Professional Purposes. So again, as with core 3 previously, students can be directly admitted to core 3 and to this level EAPP 1000Y with their proficiency test scores. However, if they're taking our placement test score, they would fall between a 47.5 and a 52.5, and they're earning 1 academic credit towards degree studies. They also in this level have the opportunity to take 1 interest course or elective worth a half credit if they choose to add it to their timetable. And then in this level, students are really just focusing on writing and reading academic papers and material like newspapers and professional articles and things of that nature. And students are also having weekly meetings with their instructors to discuss their written work, so they're getting some one-on-one time. They're listening to complex academic lectures, and they're just developing their grammar and editing skills and making their way to that 5th and final level of ESL. So our final top level of ESL is EAPP 2000Y. And again, if somebody scores a 55 or greater on the placement test, they are placed into this level. And they're receiving, again, another academic credit towards degree studies. So 1 full credit towards their degree studies. And at this level, they can take up to 2 interest courses worth 0.5 credits each. I do want to distinguish that you can earn up to 3 credits total through our English pathway program, or our ESL pathway program, excuse me. So for example, students that take a half credit course in EAPP 1000Y can then take a half credit interest course in EAPP 2000Y. However, if somebody enters directly into EAPP 2000Y, or they choose not to add an interest course to their timetable in EAPP 1000Y, the 4th level, then when they're in this final level, they can take 2 half credit interest courses while in this final level of ESL, earning them that 1 full credit. So they have that 1 full credit from the interest courses, they have 1 full credit from EAPP 2000Y, and if they entered in at EAPP 1000Y, then they have that one full credit from EAPP 1000Y. And this final level of ESL, this fifth and final level, is really just focused on polishing students' English language skills to prepare them for the academic setting. And they are learning Trent's policies, and again, just preparing for undergraduate studies and learning how to go about booking their classes. And so this is kind of the final step before that progression towards pursuing their degree. So, you know, they've gotten their house together and they're stepping into their degree. And when students graduate from our ESL program, they do all receive a graduation certificate. Now, I just want to take a look at the fees for 2021-2022 academic school year. So these are the fees for ESL listed on our website currently. They are subject to change. You can see the breakdown between tuition, ancillary, orientation, health, and then the total. Ancillary includes things like the athletic pass on campus and the bus pass, things of this nature. You will notice that the prices are based on location. So we have an on-campus price, we have an online in Ontario price, and we have an online outside of your Ontario price. And the distinction between these two is typically the healthcare. But at this time, while we have the prices listed for both on campus in Ontario online and outside of Ontario online, at this point, we are hopeful, as Kath mentioned at the very beginning, we are hopeful for on-site in-person classes this September. So we are planning on delivering all of our ESL classes in person this fall in September, which would be that on-campus price. Also, as Kath mentioned earlier, May 15th of this year is a very important deadline because the IRCC is guaranteeing that students will receive all of their necessary study permits and necessary documents for the fall term if they submit all of their documentation by May 15th. So if you have any students that have applied to Trent and been accepted or want to apply to Trent, it's important to get those applications in and then get all of the paperwork submitted by May 15th so that they can join us on campus at Trent University for the fall intake beginning in September. There is also more information that I have linked here to our COVID protocols because our student safety is our primary concern. Our student safety, our faculty safety, our staff safety, we always put that first. And you can read more about how we do that at that link there. So that concludes the ESL webinar for today. Thank you guys so much for being here and for your attention and for listening. And thank you, Kath, for manning the chat. At this point, I'm happy to help out with questions as well in the chat. Kath, I don't know if you want to.
Jenna, do you mind if I just, I would just love to talk about a few different things, and I welcome everyone to ask questions and either in the Q&A section or in the chat, either one works. I just
Absolutely.
wanted to talk about a couple of different things. First of all, Jenna used the word interest courses, and I just wanted to clarify that interest courses are also referred to as electives. However, when students are taking the ESL program in the now 4 credit levels, and this exists in its current format as well. All of this will begin in September, but those courses that they can add on, the additional academic courses, are actually also credit courses related to their academic programs. So for example, if a student is still in the EAPP 1000 or 2000, they can add a credit course. And if they're going into the business program, they can take an admin course. If they're going into a math major, they can take a math course. So these are not just interest courses, they're actually courses that are related to the degree. I have added in the chat the link to join and register for our virtual open house, which is being hosted by Trent International. And it is aimed to your clients who already have an application in at Trent. So if you're working with someone who has already submitted an application and has an offer in their hand, they can attend that virtual open house and accept their offer on the spot, which is really exciting. But it's a complete open house. There will be mini lectures. There will be opportunities to meet the support teams. There'll be opportunities to speak with housing and resident services, food services. There will be opportunities to learn more about all of the different extracurricular options at Trent. Of course, we are also, as Jenna mentioned, we have a safe arrival protocol in place. We are a DLI. We are approved for accepting students in person at Trent. We do have every intention of being in person by September. So that is the plan. But in the interim, all of our programs are still available as online options as you transition to face-to-face. And as you know, Canada will allow the online study to count towards the postgraduate work permit. So I also wanted to point out that even though we've been focusing on the English for University program today, we also have short-term summer programs and short-term programs that are in specialized area. English for leadership and community development. We have English for business. We have English for computer science. We have English for healthcare, and we have English for environmental science. And achieving a certain grade in these short-term programs can also admit you into those EAPP 1000 and 2000 courses. So that's another way to get into those programs. We are also excited, and we are planning to be in full delivery of our Summer Goose program, our Youth Summer English Language Camp. So that will be queued up for summer of 2022. And finally, I did mention that we have an English teacher training program that's offered as a short-term certificate program, but there's more big news coming because we are now approved to be offering a postgraduate certificate in teaching English as a second language. So if you are working with professionals who are maybe ESL teachers in your country, and they would like to professionalize their English language skills, and they would like to professionalize their teaching skills, they can do this postgraduate certificate in teaching English as a second language as non-native English speakers themselves. And this postgraduate certificate can be stacked with our human resources management postgraduate certificates. They're each 8-month programs. But if you're working with someone who is an ESL instructor who would also like to become an administrator in the institution, whether it's a high school or a college or a university or a private language school, they can actually do a postgraduate certificate in teaching English as a second language stacked with a postgraduate certificate in human resources management so that they can work as administrators in those programs. So I'm going to go to the questions and the chat. I'm going to start with the chat. People are asking.
Go ahead.
Sorry, people are asking for a copy of the recorded presentation, and we will certainly be delivering that to your inbox following the presentation. So please don't worry about, you can use this to share with your clients and to inform them. Please invite your clients that you're working with to attend the virtual open house. The link is in the chat. I've stuck it in there again, and I'm going to switch over to the other question that's in the Q&A is also about this presentation.
Yeah.
So yes, of course, we want you to have the presentation. For all of our agents, we also have the agent resource page that you have the URL to, and we will send that out privately to all of our agents, that you can also access this presentation in that resource link so that you will be able to share that with clients today or in the future whose questions are or areas of interest are related to what we've discussed today. So that's just, we're at 9:32 in our part of the world. We have lots of opportunity and we have time for additional questions. If there are no questions, we can certainly wrap up, but I'll give you a few moments. I want to say thank you to everyone for attending. I know that many of you received our invitation. Some of you may be from Bernard, some of you from our department, some of you may have received the invitation from me directly. For all of the agents that I work with on a regular basis and the partners that I work with on a regular basis. So thank you for being here. It really means a lot to have you here supporting our work. It's 6:30 p.m. in Pakistan.
Ali, thank you for being here at dinner time.
Yeah, you're probably ready to eat. You're probably hungry. I see another question. One of the questions is, can we organize a webinar for clients about this topic? Absolutely. We are here for you. So we would love to work with you to schedule a personalized, customized webinar to talk about, you tell us the list of topics that you want to focus on for your webinar, and we would love to bring that in partnership with you to your audience. So thank you. Yes, we would welcome that.
Together.
So yes, no, we are here for you. The resources are here for you. The virtual open house is for you and your clients. We want you to be there. It really helps to demonstrate the strong connection between Trent University and your agency or your institution if you're coming from one of our partner institutions today. We want to demonstrate that we work together. It helps your clients feel confident that they can trust you and that they can trust that this is a legitimate partnership and that we work together in official capacity. So yeah, great. So I don't see any more questions or any comments in the chat. Keep in touch. Please remember that you can contact international@trentu.ca. I will make one distinction about the virtual open house coming up on Saturday, and that is that it is an ESL and undergraduate and postgraduate certificate event. So if you're working with clients who are looking to go into graduate programs at Trent, this is not the event for you. There will be future events focused on graduate programs, graduate admissions, and whatnot. If you are working with clients who are looking for graduate programs, at this point, I do encourage you to reach out to our colleagues in the School of Graduate Studies. They are prepared, they are prepared to support you and to work with you and to answer your questions about graduate applications. So
do we have any more
you are all
questions?
so welcome.
I was going to say, I don't see anything in the chat.
No, just a lot of thanks, and we are
well,
so
thank
thankful
you
that you're
guys.
here.
Yes, for your time and attention. We appreciate it, and we're excited about working with you guys. I'm newer to the team, so I'm excited about getting to know you guys on a more personal level and working together as well.
And I'm old on the team. I've been at Trent with the Trent ESL program and Trent International since 2006. So we're really, really thrilled to have Jenna on the team. She's a great asset. She spent time working in and living in Central America. She has wonderful Spanish language skills for those of you joining from areas where Spanish is the first language. We have a fantastic team supporting our work in East Asia, in South Asia. You might be familiar with working with Bernard. You may be familiar working with Jessica. And we also have our team on the ground in India. So all of us are here to support one another. We all want to see students coming back to Canada. Of course, we all want to have our students coming to Trent. We want to see them in person. We want to get back to that vibrant, beautiful campus life that we are all so fond of. And, it really speaks to the work that we're all doing. And of course, we want you to come back to Trent. We want you to walk our campus with us. We want to be joining you and working with you in person. So those days are coming. Get the vaccination and let's get back together soon. We pray for your health and your well-being all around the world. The conditions are different everywhere, and we know that there are places where things are very, very difficult right now, and our hearts are with you. So let us know how we can be helping you with your work. We are looking to support you so that you are successful in your work and that we are successful together.
Kath, there's one more question there about all programs will be open for online study, ?
So that's a great question. So right now, all of our programs and courses are being delivered online. We are making sure that first year programs will offer online courses that will allow students to fulfill their coursework requirements in first year. Even if we come back in September, even though the conditions will be prepared and available to be in person on campus in September, for those of us who can be in Canada in September, the reality is that it won't be possible for everyone to arrive by the beginning of September term. So we are on a mission to make sure that there will be ample courses available online as part of that transition period. We recognize that some students won't be able to join until January, but all of our work, all of our efforts are to prioritize the learning opportunities for international students at Trent. So we are doing everything we can to make sure that there is a robust suite of programs available for all of our international students. Thanks, Michelle. It's great to see you here. Yeah, that's the goal. The goal is to be supporting our agents, to be supporting our partners, to be supporting each other. So we need to be available to one another, and we need to be helping each other all the time. We will get through this together, for sure. So my dog Henry's here to say hello as well.
I noticed the fur baby in the background.
Yeah, Henry doesn't usually bother me during my work, but he's here for a little bit of a little rub down here. So I'm going to scratch his ears here. Anyway, thank you all for attending. I don't see any more questions or raised hands.
Thank you so much.
So on that note, have a lovely evening, have a lovely day, have a lovely time, whatever is ahead of you. And we will look forward to seeing you on Saturday.
Yes, goodbye for now.
See us again. See you later. See you soon.